Alright, just picked this thing up. 2008 Kawasaki Teryx 750. Supposedly it has low compression. I bought this thing from a guy who bought it from a dealership, and the dealership said it had low compression and that it wasn't worth fixing, I guess, for the guy that had it in. It is registered until 2024. It does come with the card. Comes with the manual. We'll have to look through the manual. Looks like the guy labeled everything he did on it. Gas tank is right here. It does turn on. You can see 3,455 miles. It's got two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive with a switch. Got the choke right here. It is carbureted. The next model came with fuel injection, but this model was carbureted. It's got diff lock in the front. Has high, low, neutral, reverse. Got a little cubby right here. What's this thing for? Oh, cup holder. That's kind of cool. Has 490.5 hours on it. Got a little charging port there. Let's see if the lights work here. Oh, you can hear it. Try to start here. So supposedly it just has low compression. What's in here? Puncture seal. So I'm guessing this thing had a tire leak. What's this thing? Oh, this is for the winch. In and out for the winch. Plug this into here. This should plug into the winch somewhere. Huh. Wonder where he had that plugged into. That's to control the winch. Where's the plug-in for the winch? I don't know. It's got the mirror. It's got the seats that are detachable, which are pretty nice. Just lift up right here and the whole seat comes off. Tires on it, don't look too bad. A little beefiness left. There's the winch on the front. Everything else looks good on it. I checked it all over. CV axles look good. Everything looks pretty clean in here. It's got the dump box in the back. All the CV axles in the back look good. Got a spot for a winch. Nothing's really rusty on it. Here's the box. Pretty nice. Got the mats in there. Not too bad. Let's see if the lights work here. Yeah, it's just pretty clean. That's how you tip it up. It's manual dump. Pretty clean machine. I wonder why it lost compression. The guy said he thinks dust got in the carbs and scratched up the pistons, but we'll see. Let's just see what the lights look like here. There are the lights over here. Let's see if they work. Oh yeah, they're working. Cool. Lights work. Do the back ones work? Yeah, back ones work. So lights all work. That's good. What's this switch for? Is that for blinkers? Oh, cool. Got the blinkers going. See if they work on that side. Oh yeah, look at that. Thing's got blinkers. Cool. I wonder if he added those in. Then it's got the seat belts. So we are going to get this off the trailer and try to figure out the problem. It would be great if it was just valves, but we will see. I ended up paying $3,300 for it. He had it up for $35, and he said there was like 2 other guys coming for it, so he was pretty firm on the price. Alright, we got her in the garage. Now we can start working on this thing. So, I think what we're first going to do is check the oil and go from there. Hopefully it's not milky. If it's milky, it could be a head gasket that went, and that's why the compression's low. But if it's not milky, then I'm guessing it's pistons or maybe valves are not adjusted correctly. Before we do that, I want to take a quick look at the manual. The guy actually wrote some stuff down here. Let's see. So it looks like he did tires on it. He's got a piece of paper right here. 228.17 added antifreeze. 228.17 added 1/4 quart of oil. 7117 cleaned air filter. So the guy seemed like he kept up with the maintenance at least. If you're cleaning air filters. Yeah, this is a new air filter, it looks like. So I just don't see how this thing could have low compression, because the air filter that came with it was really clean and looked brand new. So I'm thinking it might not be that. We might get lucky here. So I think what we're gonna do is go over here and check this oil out first. Detach right here. Like that. Super handy feature on this thing, which is also very, very nice. So oil dipstick looks like it's right there. Alright, so we'll unscrew this dipstick here. See what this oil looks like. Oh boy. That is super black. Check that out. Alright, so it looks like oil hasn't been changed in a long time. So you can see on the dipstick, there's a low mark right here and a high mark right here. Let's see if it's at least between those marks. So it's about halfway up, but you can see how dark that oil is. It's not milky, so it doesn't look like the head gasket's gone. One more check here. Wow. Yeah, that's some black oil. So that is not good. Alright, looks like the radiator's right underneath here, but I don't see a way to take that off. This thing doesn't fold up, it doesn't look like. If you look in there, you can see there's a fan and the radiator and the cap's at the top, it looks like. If I can see it correctly. Huh. Where the heck do you add coolant? Yeah, the cap is right up there. See that? How do you get to that? They should have like a little window there for you to change it out. That's a stupid design. So we're gonna skip the coolant for now. We'll check that later. So let's do a quick compression check on this. See what we're working with here. So here, There's a spark plug down in there. So 3/8 socket here. Let's try to get this plug out. Just kind of check out what that plug looks like first. Go from there. I'm not sure what Winnebago Land checked on this thing. I think they only checked compression. They must have put new plugs in too. They tried all the easy stuff, it looks like. Yeah, brand new plugs. So we'll check spark here. Let's see if you guys can see that or not. You guys probably can't see that. Maybe you can. Let's just see if we've got spark on this one. Yeah, you can see the spark. So we do have spark. Our compression tester down there. Let's see what we're at. Doesn't feel like the battery's really cranking over too fast. So we might add a little battery charger to it. See if we can get some better cranking amps. Alright. You guys keep an eye on that. Alright, we're going to do throttle open. So throttle is open. Here we go. Where are we at? About 35 pounds of compression. So it's definitely low. It's supposed to have around 60. This thing has a decompression mechanism. So it's not like extremely low, but it is low. So I want to do a quick check. We'll quick put some oil down it and just see if it goes up. That'll tell us if the rings are bad right away. At least on this cylinder. Alright, let's see, we got... Here we go, throttle open. That's weird. So it didn't shoot up at all. We're right at 35 again. So it looks like it might not be rings. We might get lucky here. Alright, let's do the other cylinder. Okay, you can see the other spark plug right here. Again, brand new plug. So I tried putting new plugs in there. See if she's sparking. Oh yeah, she's sparking. It's really hard to see. Let's see if I can get you guys zoomed in here. Let's see if you guys can see that or not. We got good spark. Okay, now we're gonna do throttle open again. Let's see what we get here. Got like nothing on that one. got like 10 psi. It's holding though, so it's not a bent valve. We'll try a little oil down the cylinder. See if she spikes up here. See if it goes up here. I don't see any really signs of leaking except for right there, which it looks like it was leaking from the valve cover. So far it really doesn't look too bad. I'm still kind of suspecting valves, but we'll see after this. Okay, throttle open. Went up a little bit, but not enough to, I mean, it was up to like maybe 15, but that'll happen either way. I mean, yeah, so it's hard to tell. I'm still kind of thinking valves, hopefully. All right, so it looks like we've got pretty low compression. They weren't lying about that. All right, so I know they didn't check the valves because look at the cap right there. That's on there super tight, and you can tell it hasn't been messed with, hasn't been taken off before. So valves are definitely suspect at this point. It does not look like they ever went through the valves, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe they did. Maybe they got to top dead center without using that somehow. And checked it that way, because it does kind of look like these are out of here. So let's take off these covers, these caps right here, both of them, one right there, one right here, and we'll see if these are loose at all anywhere in the rotation. And that's probably what they did. So let's get those off there. Yeah, these were definitely off. So they did check the valve somewhat. I don't know if it was the most accurate way to check them, but those are loose. It's not what we want to see. Those are loose too. So yeah, so far doesn't look like it's the valves on that side at least. Those are pretty loose. If it was the valves, they'd be tight. There's a couple more caps right there. It's kind of harder to get to. All right, we've got access to all the valves here. You can see all the rockers are visible. Other one's right in here, hard to kind of see. Right through there. And then we got the cap off, right down there. There's the cap that went on there. So now, we've got to find top dead center on cylinder 1, which I believe is this one. And then we've got to see if these valves are within spec. Same with this one. So we're looking for a TF for the front cylinder and a TR for the rear. You guys probably can't see that, but it says TF in there. You guys can kind of see the F coming through. See that? You guys won't be able to see the whole thing, I don't think. Yeah, it's too hard of a position, but it says TF on there. So now we're going to check the valves in the front one. Just see if they're loose. We're hoping that they're not. Oh boy. Exhaust valves feel good. Intake valves are moving. Hear them clicking. So those are loose. So it might actually be the cylinder. Huh. Alright, valve adjustment for these, for the clearance, it's 0.004 inches to 0.006 for the intake and 0.008 to 0.01 for the exhaust. So let's just check the intake on these here quick. Those are a little bit tight. Let's check the exhaust. Should be 0.008 on the exhaust side. Exhausts are perfect. Alright, so I'm pretty sure at least one of the cylinders has worn rings. I think it's this one right here, the front cylinder. So I ended up getting the battery pack out and we did it again with the oil down the cylinder and it jumped up to 50 psi, which is right where it should be. This one without any oil is right around 50, 45 psi. So that one's fine. The range is 37 to 60 psi in the manual. So that is fine for that cylinder. I think it's just this one. So maybe there's a ring stuck in here is what I'm thinking. So let's see if it starts up. Let's see if we can get that ring unlodged. Because the guy said it was smoking too. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it cranks over. Let's see here. Put our battery charger on. It'll probably be spitting oil everywhere because I don't have the valve covers on. Let's just see what happens here. We'll choke it. You guys can probably see better over here. Let's see if we choke it here. I don't know if it's getting much gas. All right, we got the gas line off right here. Let's see what happens. We put it to on. If gas squirts into the cup here. Not a whole lot. Put a little bit down there. Alright, let's see if she just fires over here. Put a little gas down the carbs. See if she cranks. Hopefully we don't start a fire here. Get these. Alright, here we go. I think it's just not getting gas. It wanted to go. We're gonna get this thing going. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's see what happens. Go. I think we just had too low of compression to start it. Well, hopefully we're freeing up those rings. Trying to. Might need a good carb planet. Let's see here. Come on, baby. Just have to fire it up here. Woo! She went. I don't think it's getting any gas. It fired up, it sounded pretty decent. I just don't think it's getting gas. Let's try this one more time. Huh. Dripping a lot of oil everywhere. Alright, so I'm consistently getting a reading of 50 psi on each cylinder now. So I think it was like a stuck ring in the bottom cylinder, and I think that cylinder was just fine. But I'm thinking it's not getting gas, because every time we put gas down, it fires up for a little bit. So I think the carbs are just dirty. The carbs were kind of off of it. They were unclamped when I bought it. So I don't know if somebody was going to go through it, or if they just had them off when they were doing the valves, or what. So let's get these carbs off next and just kind of go through those. I'm wondering if the jets are just clogged. So these are just clamped down. Gas line. Got the choke on there yet. Gotta get these off. That is an interesting design Kawasaki came up with. Pretty simple design, but it's unique. There we go. Alright, we got the chokes out. Start digging into this carb. Alright, we're gonna start with the let's see, this would be the rear cylinder carburetor. Let's see what's going on with this one. We'll do one at a time, clean one at a time, and put it back together before doing the next one, just so we don't lose any parts or mix up parts. I think that's the best way to do it. But we still have hope here. We've got 50 pounds of compression, which checks out according to the manual in each cylinder. We have spark, and it seems like when we put fuel down, we're getting it to run pretty good. So I'm hoping it's just the carburetors here. That would be really lucky if it was. That's interesting. looks super clean in there so far, so I don't know. Looks really clean. We didn't want it to be clean. I was hoping it was going to be gunked up, but so far it doesn't look like it. $140 for the main. Let's get the pilot out of there. We're hoping the pilot's clogged. Be clogged, be clogged. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, pilot's clogged. Get this float out of here. No gas in the float. Needle is nice and rubbery at the tip yet, so everything's looking pretty good. We'll blow through everything, but so far so good. Let's see what the fuel screw is at. Oh, that's really loose in there. I don't even think there's a spring in here. I think it's missing the spring. It's just kind of floating. Oh, it is. It does have a spring, but it was missing the O-ring. Missing the O-ring and the washer that's supposed to go on there. It's really loose in there. Drop the nail. Looks like the diaphragm's gonna be fine. Spring. Doesn't look like any rips in the diaphragm. Needle looks good. Just checking everything over, making sure there's no rips. Alright, that looks good. Diaphragm looks really good. So I think that's pretty much it for this carb. That I can see. So we'll blow through everything, make sure everything's nice and clean, and then we'll go on to the next one. So I ended up tearing apart this carburetor as well. Everything looked good, except the pilot jet was a little bit clogged. So hopefully that was the problem, having the pilots clogged a little bit. But we'll put this back on and try to start it up. All right, carbs are all cleaned out. Let's see what happens. We got some gas going to the carbs. Choke it. Well, she runs. Does it run good? No. Alright, we got the airbox back on. Now it's idling. Sounds pretty good. No smoke out the back. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if it's gonna have any power, but so far it's sounding pretty good. That's pretty crazy. No smoke yet. Wow. Alright, well, we might get lucky here. We've got to get some coolant in it. We've got to change the oil for sure. It's not sounding too bad. Let's rev it up a little bit. Alright, she's sounding pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's revving out. So let's get everything back together in here and try to get this oil drained. We definitely need a new oil filter as well. Alright, we're crawling under the machine here. Got our oil pan underneath here. So these have to come out. This plate right here. And then there's an oil drain plug underneath this plate right here. So you gotta remove that. It looks like 10mm screws hold that plate on. I'll show you guys the drain bolt once we get to that point. And then the filter is over here on it. You guys can see in there. Down in there you can see the filter. Turn my flashlight back on. You can see the filter down in there. So I believe this plate has to come off right here. Alright, going back under here. We got the drain bolt plug right there. So we're gonna drain that out. We'll try to get this oil filter out here. Now that is some black oil. That has not been changed in a while. And then we got the plate off over here. So now we've got easy access to the filter, which is right there. So I think I can reach my hand in there and get that out. And it should drain out through that hole right there. All right, here's the filter that was in it. I didn't see any metal chunks or any debris in the oil or the oil filter, so I think the top end is probably fine. No metal shavings, nothing. There was a little bit of oil sludge buildup just from being so old, but other than that, nothing. And I don't know if this is the original filter. It doesn't look like it, so probably had an oil change at some point. But let's go to the store, pick up a new filter and some oil, and get this oil change done. Alright, we've got the new filter in there, and according to the manual, when you do a filter removal, you want 2.3 US quarts. So we've got 3 quarts here. Let's start off with that, and we'll see where we are in the dipstick after that. Dipstick is right here, if you guys remember. So that's where we're gonna fill up the oil. This calls for 10W40, and we're using wet clutch oil. Don't use car oil, your clutches will slip. Just gonna slowly add this in. Just 0.3 quarts. Alright, we're gonna run this thing for a little bit. Put the choke on, it's cold. Alright, we're going to check the dipstick here. You can see it's dry. The manual states you want it between the high and low mark on the dipstick, so right in here we want it. I'm not going to screw it in, and you can see we are perfect. Level's right in between. Alright, one other thing I want to do since we drained some coolant out of it, I want to check the coolant. So on the passenger side, there's a little gauge right here with an F and an L for full and low. It should be between these two lines. And right now it's kind of hard to tell. So what we're going to do is take off this cover and just see what that looks like in there. Like that. Alright, and you can see, looks like the level might be a little bit high actually. It's hard to tell. Oh yeah, the level's good. See that? You can see the fluid is right about here. So it's actually just a little bit high. Alright, coming to the rear of the machine, we're just going to quick check the differential fluid. So what we want to do is take off the cap right here, and we're going to check the level. So the level should be right at the bottom of the fill cap threads. There we go. I don't think this has ever been removed before, so you might have to put some fluid in there. We'll see. Should be right at the top here. You can see the levels right there. So pretty much right at the bottom of the threads. Pretty close. See it in there. So that's good. Alright, so the front one is right there. You can kind of see it. I just checked that. That's also good. It's just kind of hard to get in there to show you guys. But the level was perfectly fine. Alright, the whole thing is back together. We got the plastic pieces in here. Down with the floorboard. Everything looks really good. Got the seats back in. So now we can go and test drive this thing. See if it works. We also put the mats in down here. So it's looking good. I still have not figured out where this plug-in goes for the winch. I looked everywhere. It doesn't fit in here. I thought maybe they converted that, but it doesn't fit there. I looked in here thinking maybe it was down here. Yeah, I just can't find it. I even looked in here and I can't seem to find where that winch goes. It's gotta be somewhere for easy access, I would think. Maybe up here. I don't see where it could go. I looked underneath the seat over here too. Couldn't find anything. So we'll have to look around for that, but I'm assuming the winch works. think I found the place for the winch. It's right here. Let's see if this thing plugs in. See if the winch works here. Oh yeah. Cool. That's working good. Alright, so it looks like 4x4 is working. Everything's working on it. Not a single problem. Let's see if the dump bed works. Yep. And it instantly fires back up here. So I'd say she's good to go. Let's go take it to the land and go for a little ride. Alright, made it out to the land. Let's get this thing unloaded and brought the chainsaw along. We'll cut up some wood and test out the dump bed. Alright, let's test this thing out. Hopefully you guys can see out through the windshield here. But already, you know, it's a 2008, so it's pretty old. It's so much better than the Polaris Ranger that it had. Like 1,000 times better. It's so much smoother. Everything works a lot better. Look how smooth that is. I guess we only do have 3,455 miles on it. We do have the front diff lock too, if we need it. This is like really wet snow it's going through. It's doing pretty good so far. Suspension feels amazing on this thing. Like I barely feel any of the bumps. Yeah, it's really smooth. Back here we've got a couple pieces of wood we need to chop. Alright, so my wife wants some decorative wood for the house to put in some containers. So this is a fallen tree right here. We're going to cut off some of these into smaller chunks. You know they sell fake birch like this for decorative use, and I said to my wife, I'll just go cut you some down because I'm not paying for fake birch. So that's why we're doing this. Alright, I don't know if you can really call this testing out the bed, but I think that's all we need, so let's head home. The goal is to not get stuck back here. We're spinning pretty good. Should be better on the way back now that we have tracks. This is some deep stuff right here. Oh boy. Woo! Alright, so I think that wraps up today's video. We got super lucky on this one. The dealership that sold it to the guy I bought it from said it was low compression. And the reason I bought it is because I asked the guy what compression does it have, and he said around 60. So I looked it up, and then they're like, well, it's supposed to have 60. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just a valve issue or a carb issue, and it turned out to be a carb issue, which was an amazing deal. These typically sell for anywhere from $6,500 to $7,500, and they're really nice. I do like it a lot. It's really nice it has a winch that came with it too. I never thought I'd like it, but I really do. Super smooth. Everything works on it. Has good power, so I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If we learned anything from this, it's take the risk, buy the machine, and the worst thing that happens is you have to redo the engine. But when you redo the engine, you learn a bunch of stuff. So really the worst that can happen is you learn some new skills. So go out there, buy that machine you've had your eye on, and maybe you'll get lucky too. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for the next video, and until next time, we are out.